All right. Welcome everybody. Thursday of week 12. Okay, so let's start with question of the day. Today's question of the day is, are you a cat person or a dog person or neither? And I'm gonna start out and I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm neither. I'm not a cat or dog person. I think that I could like both. I've had both and I don't mind. Actually, I think they're pretty cool. However, Cammy and Stassi really want dogs right now. Or Cammy and Stassi both really want pets right now, and I don't because we had a dog, and then I just end up having to do it all because they're always gone. And so I don't feel like taking care of a dog personally right now. This is what I don't feel like doing personally, if I'm being honest. So yeah, I'd say I'm neither a cat or dog person at the moment. Maybe in the future when I have more time, but at the moment, yeah. Um, Ron, you're the first one on my screen. Are you a cat person, dog person, or neither?
I want to say growing up, I was more of a dog person. Man, I forgot, but I used to watch a lot of what is it? Something Buddies. It was like Air Buddies, that one.
I watched that. They have so many. They have like air buddies, snow buddies,
Yeah, yeah, like
stuff like that. I used to watch that
multiple
too.
episodes. Same, yeah. So I'm more of a dog person. I think I'm okay with both. I'm not really a fan of cats, but my uncle has a bunch on his ranch, and supposedly they keep out the snakes.
Yeah.
But yeah, dog for now, leaning towards cat. I don't know. Next, Kiko. Pretty sure I know his answer.
Same.
Man, yeah. Uh I'm a dog owner. I prefer dogs. My girlfriend has an army of cats down at her house, and it's out of love she feeds them and they never went away. But man, I do have a favorite cat now after a pretty long time, and his name is Ketu. And in Chamorro, that just means cut it out or stop it. So, but I kind of learned that, yes, they do keep away snakes, but they keep away rats most importantly. And that's why I kind of dig them, but they're too ninja for me. They're very unpredictable. One minute they're at your feet, and then the next they're on top of the fridge, just planning 1,000 ways to kill you. And I don't really like that out of cats. So, dogs most preferably. Go with the Lana.
I I just like an animal person all around, you know. We have like three dogs. I used to have a cat, and it's so crazy how you ask this question because I literally I'm using my cat mom mug because I had a cat. This is like when I was first like when I first became pregnant, right? I had a cat that I took in from my grandparents' house. And my dad, I really wanted to take him home. And my dad was like, no, you cannot. I was like, I told my grandpa, I said, Grandpa, please. I'm gonna call my dad. So I called my dad and I put him on the phone and he was like, Joseph, you better let her keep this cat. And so I brought the cat home and my dad didn't let me or didn't like make him go away, but I eventually he ran away because I had him inside. I thought he was a girl at first, actually. I thought I was calling him a girl, but it was actually a guy. And then he ran away because my dad brought like goats to the house, and my cat did not like the goat at all. So he just like he did, and so I never saw him again. And I honestly, I think he's dead. And I literally, because I was pregnant, so I literally like I had a breakdown for like a whole week. Like I was just crying, like, oh my God, my pet is dead. But yeah, I don't know. I really love cats. But I have bad fortune with them. Like they always die on me or like they always run away or something. And then I'll choose Adrian.
Man, that's hard. Um, because my family my family is definitely cat people, but my other half is a dog person. Uh, damn. Uh, can I just be in the middle? I'll be in the middle because
Oh,
I had worse experiences. I have bad experience from each animal. Like I had an instance where like my roommate's cat is very antisocial and very how do I say it? They have a lot of PTSD basically. So whenever I'm near them or I try to pet them, they scratch me. And a bad experience I had with a dog. I was walking to the bus stop for school, and one of these random dogs just started coming to attacking me. Like they just bit like part of my pants, and then they just started walking away. And I'm like, I didn't even do anything. But yeah, so I guess I'm neutral in that point. But yeah.
got you. Well, thank you all for sharing. That's actually it's really interesting. It's, and yeah, Lana, I knew that you were gonna have that cat mom mug. That's why I chose it. That's why I chose the question. All right, cool. Thank you all. All right. So today I'm excited because we are gonna go through modern JavaScript, which I did a dry run yesterday with Ron. So Ron knows the ins and outs already. Ron's an expert with JavaScript. Yep, he knows it. So let me go ahead and pull up. Oh, there's that. Um, I created a folder for modern JavaScript already. Open it up. Let's go ahead and get started. All right. So, and actually, I think it'd be good for me to also pull up the other one. All right, we're not going to go through this at this moment, but I'm just going to show you that this works more or less. Let me go ahead, pull up my terminal, open index. All right, so this is kind of we're going to call this the original way that JavaScript was intended to be used. In the browser, there's no server running. This is like literally a file on my computer. Like we can see it says users, Leon Shimizu, desktop, CSG, you guys' class, week 12, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, index.html, right? And so this is like, we're going to say this is the original way that JavaScript was intended to be used as a static file, something to basically manipulate the HTML and the DOM so that way we can make things dynamic, right? And so this is the code to do it. And maybe we could walk through this quickly, but just to show you guys, this is a working to-do list. I can say like test one, test two, etc. And I'm like, okay, well, let me remove that one. All right. So it's a working, it doesn't save anywhere. If I refresh the page, it all goes away, but it does work. And so the code to do this is we have our index.html, nothing crazy, simple HTML tags. We got our header. We have the link to a style sheet, which I'm actually not using. We have our body tags, header tag with my to-do list text. We have a little input text box right here. We have our button to add a task, which really is just a button that really doesn't do anything by itself. And then we have our unordered list. And then from there, then finally, we have our link to the script.js. So that way our HTML or our JavaScript has access to this HTML. And then from there, in here, in this script.js, the few things that we're doing, and I'm just going to walk through it real quick. Let me do this. So the first thing that I did was we needed to grab the different references to the different elements or the HTML elements that we need. So the three things that we needed was we needed to grab the input text box because we need to track what is the user typing into that text box. We need to grab task, the add task button because we need to listen out for when the user clicks to add a task. And then we needed to get also the task list, that unordered list, basically. So those are the three things that we needed to track. And so that's why basically we did it 3 times. We said const some variable name equals document.get element by ID, and then whatever the ID is. And we can see here, each one of these have their own unique ID, which is why we're able to grab them by their ID. After that, we have to add the functionality so that way we can add a task, right? And so the first thing to do is we need to get the value of whatever the user inputs in that input text box. And so here, I'm actually going to do this, this, this. And so when the user types something in, that's going into that input text box, which we're calling task input. And so specifically, we want to grab the value from there. And so just to show you guys, task input by itself is going to be the entire HTML element. So if I do test, click add task, we're console logging task input. And so we can see task input is the whole element. We don't want the whole element. We only want the value. So that's why we're going to go, oh, dot value. And so now I'm going to refresh the page, do it again. And so we can see now the value of that element is only the text. And then specifically, there's also like this other special character there, kind of similar to gets.chomp, which is why we have to do this trim. And so that's the first thing we need to do. After that, it doesn't make sense that if the user doesn't type anything, we're not going to there's no reason to add that to the list. So the next thing we're going to say is, hey, only add an item to the list if the user has actually entered some text. So all we have to say is that, hey, if the value that they input is not an empty string, then we're going to continue, right? So that's the next thing. Finally, now that we know the user has actually entered some text, now finally we can add the functionality to actually add the item to the list. The first thing we need to do is we need to create a list element. All a list element is, all this li is an HTML tag, an HTML list tag. So for example, if we go to index.html, I'm going to go within the ordered list. I'm just going to put list item. And then in the list item, I'm just going to say test. If I refresh the page, we see it says test. If I create like 3 of them, refresh the page, we see it says 3 tests. And so basically, we need to create that. So I'm going to go back here. We have we created, basically we go document.create element list item, and we assign that to the variable list item so that way we can manipulate it. So we create an empty list item, and then from there, we need to set the text that the user inputted, that task text, to basically to that list item, right? So we're going to say list item dot text content equals task text. So this list item that we created, put the text that the user just inputted into the text box into that list item. And then finally, actually, we're going to comment this out for now. And so then finally, after we've actually added the text, text, the final thing to do, or the second to last thing to do, is to basically add that list item that we just created and we added that text to the list of items, to that unordered list. And so then that's why if I type in test, we click add task, and we use this append child, which is technically kind of just like a dot push. So it's like, hey, take that list item and push it into the task list, which is the unordered list. The final thing to do here in this function is to clear the input field so that way it's ready for the next task. And what that means is if I refresh the page and I click test, if we do not clear the input text box after we have added that item in there, we can see that this is still there. That isn't the most ideal thing. We want it to be reset back to an empty string, which is exactly why we're going to be like task input dot value equals an empty string. And then the other thing that I commented out here is I wanted the ability so that way if the user clicks one of these list items, that it'll remove it. And so to do that, we're simply going to say, hey, each list item, we're going to add an event listener that if the user clicks it, run this anonymous function. This function's anonymous because it doesn't have a name. It's not like function remove task or something like that. This is just a function that doesn't have a name. And what this function does is it goes to that task list and it removes that list item from the list. So that's all it does. So now if I refresh the page, add test, click it, I can click it now, and it removes the text. The final thing to finish this JavaScript code is that we need to actually add the functionality to run this function. Like, so here's where we actually take the button, so this add task button, and we're like saying, hey, add an event listener and listen out if the user clicks the button. So if the user clicks this button, if the user clicks that button, call the add task function. And so then that kind of starts this whole thing. And so this is not too complicated. Any of you guys could do this. And if we have time today, I will share this code with you guys. I'm going to have you guys mess with it. But I just want to show you guys this real quick and show you guys that this is kind of putting JavaScript and HTML together. And also, this is kind of the original way that JavaScript was intended, in the sense that this isn't a server. This isn't like this is just running here in the DOM, technically in this browser window. And there's nothing crazy happening. Okay. So at some point, we're gonna say, so let's say, sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to kind of segue into this the best way, but basically, this is how JavaScript has worked for a long time. However, at some point, people wanted to kind of add more functionality to it. They wanted to make it more like Ruby, like Rails, for example, where with Rails, like we have a server, it'll like reload by itself. And it brings different, and it gives us better debugging and different things. Like there's different things that come when you have a server, and it's running like a application basically. And so when people wanted to do that, they just started at first, before they added all that functionality properly. People at first were just adding more and more JavaScript code, which worked for a little bit, but like you can only add so much code, and then like it's only going to do so much. We need to add different tools to this code, or to this application, I guess we're going to say, because these files, to make it better, basically, to allow for different functionality. And so I'm going to use this modern JS file, which is actually empty. There's nothing in here. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to start the same thing. I'm going to create an index.html. And so the goal is, by the end of this section of class, that everybody here is going to have a file or this folder where we're going to create a JavaScript application kind of from scratch. We'll have a server running. We'll be able to have it kind of hot reload, which means that we won't ever have to refresh the page or anything like that. Our changes will automatically populate over here, etc. And so that's the goal for this class. And so basically we're going to slowly learn what JavaScript developers use to like the tools they use to slowly make JavaScript more of like a real, like into the language that we know today, where we have servers, we don't have to refresh the page. We have really good debugging, error handling and stuff like that, and all that kind of stuff. All right, cool. So the first thing, as I mentioned, I have my modern JavaScript file. I have just an index.html, and I'm just going to add some really basic skeleton of some code, HTML code. All right. So the first thing I did was I just added, so here in this index.html, super simple, straightforward. We have just our HTML tags, our header. We have the title of modern JavaScript. This is the encoding. And then from there, we just have a really simple body tag that says hello from HTML. And let's go ahead, and I'm going to open this up. All right, cool. So here it is. No JavaScript yet. And so now I'm going to create our JavaScript file. So I'm going to call this one index.js. All right, cool. And so in here, I'm just going to say the same thing that we've been doing, of like console.log hello from JavaScript. I'm going to refresh the page. We don't see anything because we haven't connected it yet. So we're going to go back here, and we're going to add our script tag. So we have to add our script, and we're going to say src, the source, equals index.js. Oh, I have to put it in the quotes, sorry. Index.js. Now I'm going to go over here, refresh the page. Perfect. We see our hello from JavaScript. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and just start with this. I don't know if this is going to work for you guys. This works for Mac though. I don't know if so here, I'm going to share the exercise first. Why didn't that format that better? this, this. All right, and we're gonna take this step by step. So you guys let me know if this works on the Windows laptops. Actually, everyone here is Windows. So basically what I want you guys to try out is if I type in open space and then I type in index.html while I'm here in this file and I click enter, it literally opens it up in my browser. It opens up the file. I don't know if that's going to work for you guys. I'm hoping it does. If it doesn't, then you'll simply have to right click on it, do the reveal in Explorer, and then open in the browser or whatever. I hope this works for you guys, but I don't actually know if it will or not. But yeah, so let's just go ahead and start out. I want everyone to get to this specific point. So you're going to create a new folder called modern JavaScript, create a file called index.html, add this code to it, and then from there, create a file called index.js, link them together with the script tag, and then from there, open your index.html, and you should see the console log message in the browser console. All right, cool. Yeah, you guys are good to share your screen. Why not? You guys are good to share your screen. It should take like a few minutes, whatever, nothing crazy, and then we'll continue. And we're gonna walk through this step by step. I'm excited. Okay. Yeah, I see, Ron, I see you tried that. I guess it doesn't work. Open index.html doesn't work. It's all good though. So go ahead and just do the normal thing of like right click on index.html or whatever. If you didn't do it already. Yeah, open File Explorer, reveal in File Explorer, whatever. Dang, I was hoping that worked. That's a Mac thing, I guess. Oh, yeah, hold up. I'm gonna unlock the door. I think I locked Jeremy out again. Okay, I'm back. Kiko, so you'll have to wait. So Kiko, you'll have to right click. Oh, yeah, there you go. You can create a new file. That's perfect. Modern JavaScript, and then in there, create a file. So no period. So it's just the name of the folder. The folder, yeah, there you go. And then in there, go ahead and create a new file, two new files. You're going to create one called index.html and then one called index.js. Solid. And then in your index.html, you can basically, yeah, you can close out all these other tabs. You can close that. Yeah, close all that out. Yeah. Wait. Yeah, go ahead and close that. Perfect. And then go ahead and open up that index.html and you can basically put the code that I shared. Wait, hold up, Kiko, you'll need to put this in the HTML file, not the JS file. That's why you're getting a bunch of errors. So pretty much everything you can just delete it and put it into the solid. Yeah, Adrian, that command doesn't work. You'll have to so you'll have to like double click or two finger click or right click, depending on if you're, I don't know, whatever you can do over here on the index.html on the over here. Like double click or right, yeah, and then reveal in File Explorer. And then basically open it up in the browser. So Kiko, same with, so you won't be able to run, so you cannot run node and then index.html because so that it's in the right file, but you can only run that command on a job on JavaScript. So this is HTML, which is completely different. So you're gonna have to open this up in the browser. So like if you go into your right click on your index.html, like on the left side. Yeah, and then like double click like as if you were gonna delete the file, whatever that command is. And then you're gonna click reveal in File Explorer. And then basically open it up in the browser. So if I don't know if you like click on it and then like there's an option to open it up in the browser basically. I don't know. Something like that. If you right click on it, open, yeah, there you go. Open it in the browser. And then the other thing, guys, the next thing you guys should do is open up your browser console and you guys should see, if you don't already, you basically you need to add that. You should be seeing that like hello from JavaScript or whatever. So you need to connect the HTML and JavaScript together. Yeah. So in your JavaScript file, it should just say like console.log hello from JavaScript. Solid. And then now is when you're going to add that script tag. So go ahead and Kiko, you can check the Slack. I think I say, actually go ahead and go to your HTML. Here, I'll walk you through it. Go to your index.html. And so right under the hello from HTML line, right after that one, click enter. And then you're going to create that script tag. So no commas. Yeah, script. And then space src. So no, so delete that. Yeah, right. No, that's fine. It's fine. You keep the script. Yeah, so go ahead and type out the script right there, and then the closing tag or whatever. And then click the left arrow one time. Right on the side of the T. You want to be on the side of that T. Yeah, click space. And then you're going to type in src equals, and then it's the name of your JavaScript file. So whatever the name of your JavaScript file is. Wait, hold up. So no, it'll be the name of your JavaScript file. That's the name of the folder. So what's the name of your JavaScript file? What's the name of the file that you put console log hello from JavaScript? All right, cool. All right. So now you should be able to go to your browser. So go ahead and go to your browser and refresh the page and open up the browser console. I don't remember the command to do that. Sorry. But yeah, so you need to open up the browser console and you should see your console log. Yeah, you can click inspect. You can click inspect. And then change it to the console. There you go. Hello from JS. That's what we want to see. All right. Adrian, I'm looking at your screen. So yeah, so just do the console log hello from JavaScript in there, in that JavaScript file. Got you. So here, you'll write it like this, console.log hello from JavaScript or something like that. So you're gonna write it something Wait, why did my stuff get cut off? I don't know why I got cut off, but I think you see what I'm doing. Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, cool. So now go to your HTML, refresh the page, and open up. So you'll never write console log in the terminal. The same reason like in Ruby, you won't ever write console puts in the terminal. So go ahead and open up the browser console in the browser. Yeah, so go ahead and open up the browser console. I don't know the hotkey on Windows, to be honest. But if you right click in the browser, in your browser, just right click on the page and like there should be like an inspect button or something. Yeah, click inspect element right there on the bottom. Right on the bottom. Solid. Change it to the console on the right side, on the top. Yep. All right, refresh the page. All right, cool. Yeah. So we don't see it because now we need to add the script tag. So basically we need to connect our index.js to our index.html. So right after this line 8, click enter. Yeah, make a line right after it. Yep. And so you're going to add a script tag. Yep. And then you're going to go, yeah, so you can do space if you want. So you're going to say space src equals. So you're going to say, yeah, src equals, and then whatever the name of your JavaScript file is. Solid. Okay. And then do the closing tag. Perfect. All right. Now go back to your browser and refresh the page. All right, cool. There it is. All right. We are all on the same page here. Okay. And actually, Matt. Okay, here, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this script src equals .js script. All right, there. All right, so Matt, welcome. Matt, you can follow the exercise. Basically, you're going to create a folder called modern JavaScript, create a file in there called index.html, add the code that's there, and then create a file called index.js and add a console log. That's what you're going to do. All right, so I'm going to continue. You guys are good to stop sharing your screen. Let me share. All right. Okay. So the first thing that I want us to be able to do is if we remember, like in Rails, we're able to install different gems into Rails to add different functionality, right? In that same sense, I want to be able to install different, so in JavaScript, it's called a library. So I want to be able to install a different library, which ultimately is someone else's code into my into this into this we're going to say this JavaScript application. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript application, technically. And so in order to do that, we cannot do it just as is. We cannot just be like, there's no place where we can just kind of add the gem. So we actually have to do one thing in order to set this up as an application that can use something called NPM, which stands for Node Package Manager. And a package is the same thing as a library. So basically, this is like, we're going to set this application up so that way we can use this package manager to install the different libraries or packages into this application. And so that's the first thing we need to do is we need to set up NPM. To set up NPM, we are going to use, and we're going to type in our terminal, we're going to type in NPM space init. And then it's going to ask us a bunch of things. It's going to ask us, and honestly, you don't need to change anything. I'm literally just going to click enter until it's done. All right, cool. There you go. I literally just click enter every single time. We're just using the default for everything. And so what that did was it should have created a file called a package.json. And so this is going to be the file that we're going to use to kind of keep track of what we install and basically the configuration for our application for this HTML, CSS, and JavaScript application. Okay, cool. All right. So the next thing, now that we have this set up as a node application, as an NPM application, or yeah, I guess as a node application, now we can install other people's code. We can install a different package, for example. And so I'm going to install a package, a simple package called Moment. And so this Moment application, this Moment package, I'm sorry, I keep like switching what I'm saying. This Moment package, it's a simple JavaScript package that allows us to parse, validate, manipulate, and display dates and times in JavaScript. Really, it's just a way to deal with like dates easily. Because a lot of times dates have a like keeping track of dates and stuff like that can be a little bit complicated. And so this Moment.js allows us to like format them and do other things and create a calendar and stuff like that pretty easily. Okay, cool. So with that being said, now that I've installed Moment, and actually we can see here in our package JSON, it updated it. And now we have this dependencies section. We can think of this dependencies section kind of the same thing as our gem file in Rails. So this is kind of like our gem file where it says what gems we have installed and what version. And then the other thing it created was it created this package lock.json. This package lock.json, again, we can kind of think of as our gemfile.lock in Rails. And then the last thing it did was it created this node modules folder. This node modules folder is basically, it basically contains all of the code for that gem that we just installed. For example, for Moment, we can see all of the code that they wrote for this specific thing. So we kind of just installed that entire this entire library, we installed all of the code for it into our application, specifically in this node modules folder. All right, cool. So now that we've installed it, now we can start to use some of its code. So the first thing we need to do though, before we start to use some of its code, and this is one of the issues with JavaScript, is we need to tell JavaScript, so we're going to add another script tag, and we need to be like, hey, we also have some other JavaScript code in the node modules, in that package that we just installed. No longer is it just in the script.js, it's also coming from another place. And yes, this seems tedious because it is, and this is one of the issues with with JavaScript at this specific time. And so we're going to say, hey, the source of this one is coming from node modules, and then it's moment, and then it's going to be moment.js. This is the file. This is the moment codes it like index.js, this is their equivalent, I guess, in a sense. All right, cool. So now I have two script tags. I have a script tag that goes to our index.js, and I have a script tag that goes to Moment's version of their script.js, which is technically called moment.js. Now we can use their code. So I'm going to go to my index.js, and I'm basically going to add I'm going to use some of the syntax some of the things that they bring with this package, basically. So for example, I'm gonna go like var date time equals moment dot start of day from now. And so what this is gonna do is this is gonna see how long has it been since the start of day? That's basically what it's saying. What is the moment, like from this moment right now, how long has it been since the start of day? And that's really what this code does. So if I console log this, I go over here to my modern JavaScript, I refresh, we can see today's started 19 hours ago, which I think seems right. 12 a.m. was like 19 hours ago-ish. So yeah. All right. So this is the code that Moment gave us. Super kind of cool. Okay, obviously this isn't the coolest package, but it's a simple one that we're going to use for the demo. All right. So with that being said, here, I'm going to Slack this out. You guys are going to get up to basically what I have. Why does it not format it? I don't know why it doesn't, but whatever. It's all good. Let's do this, 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 this. Delete those. This. This. Do this. Oh, not that one. Let's do this one. This one. This. All right, cool. So what I want you guys to do is in your terminal, in your application, you're going to run npm init, and then from there, you're going to install the moment.js library. And you're going to install it with this command, npm install moment dash dash save. We technically don't have to do this dash dash save. This is actually old syntax, but it works either way. And then in your text editor, in the index.html, you're going to add the script tag to tell our HTML that, hey, we also have this new JavaScript code in our node modules in this moment.js. So basically, you're going to add this script tag. And then finally, in your index.js, you're going to go there and you're going to add some code to get the start of day, to get some moment, to use some moment code, basically. And then from there, you can go to your browser and refresh the page, and it should work. All right, cool. You guys are good to share your screen and get that working. And I'm actually going to push this up to GitHub at the same time. I'm going to do that right now. Yeah, let's do this. GitHub.com/new. Git init, git add, git commit, modern JS. This is July 2025, public. Okay. And solid. There you go. I pushed it up. All right, cool. Wait, hold up, Kiko. Wait, do Control C, Kiko? Wait, um, yeah, so npm warn init canceled. Run that npm init command again. Yeah, click enter. Keep clicking enter until it's done now. Do not do Control C. Control C closes it. Oh, wait. Okay, open up. So it should have created, refresh the left side. Yeah. And then also, could you click on this up arrow on the outline to like minimize this? We don't need this outline area. I don't even know what it is. Even the outline one? Yeah, there you go. And then close this search one. What are all these things? I don't even know what they all do. Okay, cool. So wait. Oh, we're not even wait, this we didn't run that in the modern JavaScript folder. We ran that in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, which is a different folder. Okay. Okay, wait. No, wait. Don't do that. So we cannot just do that because this is specific to this HTML, CSS, and JavaScript folder. Just delete that. Okay. No, so delete the file. Delete the file. Yeah, delete that file. Delete the package JSON. Delete the node modules. Yeah. And then delete that css.js. That way there's no confusion here. I'm not sure. Is there anything? I don't think there's anything in there. All right, cool. Okay, so now cd into modern Java. All right, now run the npm init command. Wait. Yeah, good. Yeah, good default for everything. Yep. All right, cool. So now refresh this side. Perfect. There's your package JSON. So now you can install the moment gem. And then Adrian, I'm looking at your screen now. All right, Kiko, you're good to continue. You can continue. Yours is solid now. Just make sure you're in the modern Java file. So Adrian, I'm looking at yours. It seems like you canceled the npm init command. Could you refresh this side over here? Wait. Before you do that, could you refresh this side? I want to, like, yeah, do that refresh. Delete the node modules, delete the package JSON, and delete those. I don't know if this is going to break anything. That's why I just want to do it this way because it wasn't initialized properly. Yeah, delete that. All right, run the npm init command again. Yep. And so you're not going to press Control C. Control C quits it. We do not want to quit it. We want to continue with it. So just click enter and you can just keep clicking enter until it's done. Yep, 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 yep. Just click enter one more time. All right, cool. Now go refresh the thing over there on the left side. All right, cool. So now we see that package JSON. Go ahead and click into it. Perfect. So this is going to be our setup here. Now run the npm install mode. Okay, cool. Check on the right side if it was updated. I mean the left side. I mean left side. Perfect. So now you have your node modules, you have your package lock.json, and if you actually close this file and reopen it, the package JSON, we should see that there's some dependencies there. I close that and then reopen it. Perfect. So now we see the moment dependency on the bottom. So basically you installed it and we can think of this like your gem file, like in Rails. All right, cool. So now you can continue with the rest of the exercise. Now you have moment installed and you initialize this thing as a node application. Whose screen am I looking at? Ron, delete the space after SRC. Is that breaking it? Is that space there breaking it? Maybe if it's not, then go ahead, feel free to leave the space. I wasn't sure if it was breaking it or not. Is your stuff working, Ron? Is it working properly?
Yeah, I think this one went through okay. The
Okay, all right,
index.js.
that's fine. Sorry about that.
Okay, sure.
Go ahead and continue.
Try.
Yeah. Let's see. Schematic. All right, yeah, Kiko, so you're good. Kiko, you're good to write some moment.js code in there. So similar to like what I shared in Slack. So it says like in your text editor in the index.js file, write a simple demo to show how to run the library. Basically, like write some code that uses moment.js's like uses that library that we just installed. So basically, you can just copy the one that I had there.
Sorry, my slash bar was stuck. I don't know how I got
Oh,
stuck,
you're
but it
good.
was caught in mail.
All good, all good. I was thinking of something like that because it was like look like it's just getting held down. Okay. All right. Yeah. So Adrian, you look like it looks like it's getting an error. And so did you update the index.html? Okay, yes, you did. Why are you getting that error? Node modules moment. Hmm. Could you move this one above the other one? Like switch the place, basically? I don't know if that's gonna fix it, to be honest. I've never messed with that. Yeah, refresh the page over there, see what happens. Perfect. Okay. So basically we had to, okay, so what was happening was in your index.js, it's like it's trying to, so basically it needs to be in that order because we need to be like, hey, go check out that we have that moment code and then say that, okay, cool, now we can use that code in index.js. You were trying to use moment syntax before it had access to the moment code, I guess. All right, cool, cool, cool. Solid. All right, cool. Let's see. Yeah. Akiko, so go ahead and go to the console on the left side. Yeah. All right, cool. And you refresh the page, right? Just try it one time. All right, perfect. Okay, okay, that's fine. So we're getting this error moment not defined. Did you update the index.html?
You said switch it for Adrian, right? Or was the code okay?
No, no, I was saying it switches index.html.
Oh shit. Okay. This should work now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was saying to switch this. So index.js has to be after. So it has to be the node
Oh.
modules one first. So basically we need to load the moment.js code first and then the index.js code. Yeah, go refresh the browser and now it'll work. Are you in the debugger? Um, Go to the console. There we go. We see the 19 hours ago. That was when today started. I'm not sure why you're in the debugger. Click one of these buttons or something to get out of it. I'm not sure. I think you, oh, go to this, go to that spider. I think you accidentally added something. Go scroll to the left here. Is there something there? Yeah, click on that red dot. Can you click on that? Oh, there, it went away. All right, like refresh the page or something now. Or like exit. I don't know what it's doing. There you go. Okay. Yeah, so don't mess with this spider icon. Go ahead and stay in the console, I'd say. All right, cool. All right, you're up to date there. Adrian, solid there. Whose screen am I looking at? Solid. Ron, you got it too. All right, cool. Okay, Matt's catching up too. All right, cool, 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 cool. Okay. Let me see. All right. Okay. So you guys are good to stop sharing your screen. Let's go through the next part of this. Let me go ahead and share my screen. All right. So now that we have set up our package JSON and we've just tested installing a package, now we can install any node package. So for example, I will bet you that node has faker node. Yeah, faker JS. So we could use faker in our application now if we really wanted to. I'm not going to install it. I'm going to maybe make a note that next time we can do this, we can use faker. Yeah, let me make a note of that. I think I'd rather use faker. Use faker JS next time. I think it's more similar to what we're used to. Anyway, but the basic point now is if we wanted to, now we could install any what's it called? Any node package using npm, node package manager. So this is similar to like the rubygems.org. Any package that's up here, we can install it in our application and use it like normally, like what we would expect. Before we did that, we couldn't do that. We couldn't do it this way. Okay, cool. So the next thing we want to do, the next thing that's kind of I want to say isn't ideal is that we have to do this. If we install another NPM package, we're going to have to basically do this every single time for every package that we install, which really isn't ideal. In Rails, really what we do usually is we'll do like require HTTP or require JSON. And that's what tells our this is for Ruby actually or Rails, but this is the syntax that we would use in Ruby to be like, hey, use this specific gem. However, in JavaScript, we cannot just directly do this, at the least not right now with our current setup. If we attempted to do something like this, it'll actually fail. And so JavaScript's version of this require JSON or require whatever, it would be something like this. It would be like var moment equals require, and then whatever package it is that we're requiring. So for example, moment. And so if I attempted to use this syntax, instead of us using this here, instead of us explicitly declaring that, hey, go find the code for moment.js, if I attempted to do this, it should give us some errors. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to refresh the page. Perfect. We got an error. Uncaught reference requires not defined. Basically, JavaScript by default in the browser cannot do this, cannot use this by itself. Like we have to do a little bit more setup. And so really what the thing that we need to use the tool that we need to add to our node application in order to get this work instead of us doing this every single time is we need to add some sort of bundler. It's going to be like some sort of, technically it's called a module bundler. And so specifically what we're going to install is something called Webpack. And Webpack is basically a way for us, Webpack is going to be a tool that is going to compile all our code and make it so that way we're going to put this in syntax that the browser can understand. Right now, the browser cannot understand this syntax. It doesn't know what to do. And so we're going to, again, use something called Webpack to make it so that way the browser can understand this. And the reason I'm saying the browser cannot understand this specifically is because if I ran this code, let me comment this out real quick. If I ran this code here, index.js, this code works here. We're not getting an error from this require statement if we just use plain node.js here in our VS Code. However, over here, we are getting this requires not defined. So that's why I'm saying specifically at this point in time, the browser cannot understand this syntax. It doesn't know what to do with it. And so that's why we need to use some sort of bundler to convert this code into syntax that our browser can understand. Does that make kind of sense to everybody here? Somewhat? Okay. Let me know if I'm talking too fast or anything like that. So basically, long story short, we're going to install something called Webpack so that way our browser can understand when we use this type of syntax. The reason we want to be able to use this type of syntax is because in our index.html, I don't want to have to do this for every package that we install. Currently, right now, we have to be like, hey, for our JavaScript code, go take a look at this specific folder or this specific file, so that way you can see that this is valid syntax. Right now, we have to do this for any package that we install, which kind of sucks. Like it's just not ideal, right? We don't want to have to do that every time. And so that's why we want to be able to do this. Because theoretically we do this and it's like, okay, cool. I know exactly where to go to look at the code. I'm going to go to this file, for example. However, again, the browser right now with our JavaScript code doesn't know how to do that. So that's why we're going to use Webpack. Okay, so to install Webpack, we're going to type in npm install Webpack, and specifically we're installing version 5. And we're also installing Webpack CLI, Webpack's command line interface, again at version 5. And then we're going to say --save -dev. So this --save -dev is basically says, hey, only install this for the development version of my application. So if you guys remember in our gem file in Rails, there was like a development section where it's like only install these gems for development. Don't do this for like if we were to deploy this online. That's what this command does as well. This command says, hey, only install this for my local development. Don't install this if I'm going to like push this code up online. So I'm going to click enter. It's going to install Webpack version 5 and the Webpack CLI or the command line interface version 5 as well. Perfect. All right, cool. So we can see that did a whole bunch of stuff. And actually, dang, I'm going to add, dang, I'm going to, I don't know, I don't want this thing to be a Git repository. There's something I have to do to fix this first before it become a Git, before it can be a Git repository. And I don't feel like fixing it right now. Okay. All right, cool. So now we installed Webpack. We have Webpack installed, and we know that it's installed because we can see here in our package JSON that now we have this dev dependencies section, which is basically, this is our local dependencies. This would be the dependencies if we were to push this and deploy it online. These are the ones just for our local. And so we can see we have Webpack and Webpack CLI, which is perfect. So now what we can do is we can go to our index.html and we can delete this whole moment.js thing. And instead, we're just going to have one of these. And instead of it saying index.js, we're going to tell it to create. Actually, I needed to do this first. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit out of order, but this is going to basically point somewhere else. I need to say npx webpack dash mode equals development. And we're going to say the entry is the index.js. All right, cool. Okay. We ran this command to convert our JavaScript code here in index.js into code that the browser can understand. This doesn't look like something I can understand. I have no idea what half of this thing says, but this is the code that the browser can understand. So now that's the whole idea of using Webpack, is we're converting this code that we can understand and we can use into code that our browser can understand. And we can kind of see here, it says like console log, hello JavaScript, whatever, blah, blah. We can kind of see the code here. All right, so now that we did that, now that I ran that command, now I can go to my index.html and I can be like, hey, the JavaScript code that I want the browser to use is coming from dist/main.js, which is the folder and file that was created when I used Webpack to compile the code. Because basically what we're saying is, hey, tell our browser to go to this specific folder and then this file to find all of the JavaScript code that it can understand. Previously, we were telling it to explicitly go to the moment.js and our index.js to do it. Now, no longer do we have to do that anymore. Now we can just be like, hey, go to dist main.js. So now, whenever we install a new package, no longer do we have to add it here into our script. We don't have to do that every single time, which is obviously just not ideal. And so we're slowly making this Node application a little bit more dynamic and a little bit more into the JavaScript that we know today. And so now I'm pointing it to dist main.js, to this file right here. All right, cool. So now I'm going to refresh the page over here. Perfect. We see that now it's not failing anymore. This var require moment is no longer giving us any errors because we converted it into code that the browser can understand. And technically, this is the code that it can understand. It says require JSON. Actually, that's a comment. It says var moment webpack require blah, blah, blah. So Webpack converted it into something the browser can understand. Questions, comments? Is everyone following so far?
I have a question though.
Yes, Lana.
So whenever you make changes to your index.js, it automatically changes the main.js to
No,
fit this? Oh, okay.
not yet. Eventually it will, but we're slowly kind of taking away the different issues that we had. So the first issue that we had with our application was we cannot install other packages. We solved that by initializing this as a what's it called, node application. And then from there, then it's okay, cool. We can install, for example, that moment gem. However, that led to the next issue. The next issue was that if we wanted to use the moment gem, we had to explicitly say, hey, go to node modules, moment.js. That's where the code for this moment gem is. So then we're like, okay, every single time that we install a new package, we had to then again do that node modules, blah, 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 whatever here, right? And so that was the next issue that we faced. In order to solve that, we then told it, hey, let's use this thing called Webpack. So that way it can compile the code into this version of JavaScript that the browser understands. And so now every single time that we make a change here, so for example, if I do console.log hello class, if I refresh the browser, we do not see it. We don't see it because it's pointing to this old version of this main.js. So I have to tell it, hey, recompile the code, rebundle up the code with that Webpack command. So I'm going to click enter. It's going to recompile it. And so now we should see right here, here's the console log hello class. So now if I go over here, I refresh the page, there's the hello class. And so this is just kind of the next issue that came up from solving that issue. And so we're going to keep going until we've solved kind of all of the issues. And so this is kind of like the next step to that process. So this is literally like the steps that the JavaScript developers went through to get JavaScript to the place where we know today. That's the goal. And so we're slowly seeing all the different issues that they had. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Anyone have any questions so far? Okay. So obviously, the next issue that we're going to need to figure out how to solve is I do not want to have to write this command every single time I make a change to our index.js. That just seems pretty dumb. Like, why would I have to run this command every time? At this point in time, that's what we have to do. We're going to solve that in just a second, though. Okay. All right. So just to show that we can install another package without having to edit this script or add like the Node.js script basically here, or I mean the Node module script here, I'm going to add another package. I'm going to add npm install math.js. This is a package that allows us to do math. All right, cool. So I installed it. That means that if I go to my package JSON, I should also see math.js. Perfect. I do see it. Now that I have that installed, I can go to my index.js and I can use that math syntax. But before I use that math syntax, I have to say, hey, var math equals require math. Us doing this require statement is the equivalent to us in the index.html doing that script tag for the node modules. That's the equivalent. So that's why we're adding this at the top to be like, hey, get this code from the math package that we just installed. And so now I can go like console.log math.square root, say like 144. So this should be like 12. Again, if I refresh the page, we do not see it. That's because I have to rebundle up the code. So I'm going to rebundle it, refresh the page. I could not find module math. Did I spell require wrong? Require. Does this spell the same? That is spelled the same. Math. Math. I installed it. Main.js. We did just install it. Dang, what the heck just happened here? I definitely have some small syntax error. Var math equals require. Oh, it's math.js. The name of the package is math.js, not math. Oh my goodness. Let me recompile it again. And I was even getting some errors there. Perfect. Now we got a successful compiled. Refresh the page. Now we can see the square root is 144. So the whole point of everything we did there was so that way we can use this syntax here instead of using the script node modules, blah, blah, blah there. That was literally the whole reason we did that. And it might not seem like a lot, but that was actually a huge win for the JavaScript developers at the time. Okay. All right. I'm going to have you guys do what I did there. All right. Oh my gosh. Why does this thing not why does this thing not fix my styling? This is supposed to do that. Let's do this, this. Oh, this, 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 this. Okay. This, this, this. It's all about jazz. This, but this. Okay. All right. So what I want you guys to do step by step, in your terminal, you're going to install Webpack. That thing that's going to create this dist main.js, the compiled version of the code. After that, you're going to change your index.js to use the libraries directly by using the require syntax that I have here. And then after that, then you're going to, in your terminal, you're going to run this command. Yes, it's a long command. Go ahead and copy and paste it to make sure there's no syntax errors. And then finally, or not finally, after that, you can go to your index.html and you can update it from using that node.js and index.js script to only using a script that points to dist main.js. And here, I'm going to explicitly add that here. So this is now the only script that your HTML should have, dist main.js. Finally, you should go to your browser, refresh the page, and you shouldn't be getting that error from any errors, basically. You shouldn't get any errors. And so note, remember, whenever you make a change to index.js, you have to run this command. Obviously isn't ideal. I'm sorry, not that command, this command. It obviously isn't ideal, but we're going to get to that after this. And then after that, if you have time, install another JavaScript library, for example, math.js, and then you can update your index.js to be the same thing as mine and have math.js as well. And again, whenever you make that change, you're going to have to recompile using this command, this webpack command. All right, cool. Take it step by step. There's a lot of weird stuff going on here, so take it step by step. All right, you guys get to share your screen, and we're going to take a break right after this step. And we're about halfway through, to be honest with this. I think we're about halfway through. Lana, are you trying it out too? All right, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, actually, Lana's class didn't learn this. So you guys are the first class learning this. So just wanted to put that out there. All right, cool, cool, cool. Let's see. Okay. Whose screen am I looking at? All right, Kiko, I'm looking at your screen. Yeah, install Webpack. All right, cool. I'm gonna trust you guys. You guys got this. And actually, I'm gonna get some water while you guys are doing this. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. see what's going on. Okay. Kiko, I see your screen. You installed Webpack. After you install Webpack, okay, I'm gonna be more explicit with this.
Is it required JS? Is that what we have to add in?
No, no, no.
I'm
It's this. So you're gonna add this. So you're gonna do that. So I just updated the Slack message. So it's basically on the top of this file, you're gonna put var moment equals require moment. So that's the syntax you need. Basically, so you can leave that all there. That's fine. So just put at the top of the file, like just create a line above the console log, that first console log. Oh, okay, that's fine too. You can do that. Did I add my whole thing? I did. Yeah, okay, cool. But no, this will probably break Kiko because you didn't install math.js yet. You'll need to install math.js. Yeah, it's like npm install math.js. Yeah, there you go. All right, cool. The next thing you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to run that command to compile it all or to bundle it all with Webpack. It's the npx webpack mode development entry index.js. You're gonna have to run that one.
Your pizza.
Yeah, so do that. All right, cool. So that perfect. So that created that dist folder right there, Kiko. So it says dist, and then if you open it up, that's going to be that main.js, which is going to be that compiled code that the browser can understand.
Um,
So right there, dist main.js. Yeah, so that's the one. And so now you need to go to your index.html and you need to update it to point to that file. So basically go and delete line 9, delete that whole thing. Yeah, delete it. And then now you're going to change index.js to be dist main.js. So basically you're going to tell it, hey, go to the dist folder and then main.js file. Yep, so dist slash main.js. Perfect. Now you can go ahead and go to your browser and you should be able to refresh the page and you shouldn't have any errors. Perfect. There you go. So that complex thing, that's the math.js thing. Perfect. All right, cool. So where you're at, Kiko, is solid. You're good to go there and you can kind of feel free to mess around with it or whatever. Okay. Adrian, I'm looking at your screen. I see you installed Webpack. Yeah. So basically, the next thing you're going to do, Adrian, is you're going to add that var moment equals require moment at the top of the file. Yeah. So now in your terminal, you're going to run. Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. Adrian, you got it. You know what you're doing. You know what's good. All right, cool. I'm going to give you guys like 4 minutes on this. I know it's not a lot of time. I'm going to give you guys 4 minutes, then we're going to take a 10-minute break. Wait, hold up, Adrian. So wait, Adrian, so you're gonna leave, yeah, yeah, yeah. So the only thing that you're gonna delete in there and you're gonna change is the script tags. So basically you don't want to use you will forever need all of this HTML. You're just gonna delete both of those script tags and you're gonna change it for that new script tag because now you want it to basically point to a different place. You want to say, hey, get the JavaScript from that dist folder. No longer are you getting it from index.js or the node modules, you're going to get it from dist main.js because that's going to be the compiled code that the browser can run. Cool. Yeah, so go ahead and open up the browser console and you should see no errors. Go to the console. Go ahead and go to the console. Solid. There's no errors in there. That's what we want to see. And so now you can install any number of packages and you can use it without having to add a new script tag there. So basically now we never have to add a new script tag. However,
Got it. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, I said okay. Got it.
Okay, okay, cool,
But yeah.
cool. All right. All right, guys, and it's 7:30. Let's take a 10-minute break. We'll come back and we're going to continue. All right, welcome back, everybody. All right, yeah, you guys get to stop sharing your screen. Nice, thumbs up to you too, Adrian. All right, let me share my screen. Share, share. How's everyone doing so far? Is everyone following so far? You don't need to understand every little thing, but I just really more of what I want you guys to get out of today is like, dang, there's a lot that goes into building like an application. Rails, for example, I want you guys to have more of an appreciation for Rails because Rails does all this stuff for us, right? And I think that's amazing. So these are like this is what I want you guys to understand. You guys don't need to be proficient at creating a server, but I want you guys to have an appreciation or an understanding of what it takes to make one. Okay. All right. So we're going to continue. And so right now we're using this webpack command right here. This npx, I'm going to make my screen bigger. npx webpack mode development entry index.js. So what this command says is, hey, run webpack in development mode. And then the entry point is going to be our index.js. So this is going to be the starting point of like the compiled code. And so if we go to like dist main.js, we can see the starting point here. This is our index.js. We can see where is it at? Here's the hello class, that console log hello class, etc. Right? So basically in main.js, we're starting with index.js, and specifically we're in development mode. If we have Webpack be in production mode, it acts different. And that's actually one of the things we're going to go through next. Okay, so with that being said, Webpack, this thing that we're using to compile our code, compile/bundle, I don't know, kind of the same term, to compile or bundle our code together so the browser can understand it. So Webpack, this thing we're using to compile or bundle our code together so the browser can understand it, it can do more than just compile or bundle our code. It can do other things like it can create a server. It can also do something called minify our code, which to minify our code basically means that we're going to remove all of the extra characters. By extra characters, any variables that we're using, we're going to probably use like one character for it. Any extra spacing here, we're going to get rid of it. All those little extra things, basically, we're going to get rid of all that extra stuff to minify our code. And so basically the point I'm trying to make here is Webpack can do more than just what we've been using it for. It can also do other things as well. And not just this, it can do other things as well. And so in order to start using Webpack for other ways, or in other ways for that matter, we're going to create a new file to configure Webpack. So we're going to call it webpack.config.js. So this is going to be our Webpack config file. And so in here, you guys don't have to type this out. I'm going to have you guys paste this in as well, but we're going to add this code. What this code does is it says, hey, use the path. And actually, I have a note about the path. So we import this path here at the top because this basically makes it so this configuration will work on any operating system. If we didn't include this, then I don't know which operating systems it wouldn't work with, but potentially like Windows or Linux, it wouldn't work properly with. So this basically says, hey, make it so that way this Webpack configuration works for Windows, for Mac, and for Linux and any other operating systems. From there, we tell it mode development. We tell it that because in the command we're running, we say we're using the development mode. Our entry point's index.js, that's what we have here in the command. And so finally, it's like, hey, the output of our file is going to go to that main.js. And so basically what we're doing here is instead of having to run this entire npx webpack mode development entry index.js command, now all we have to do is npx webpack. No longer do we have to run this entire command because we have this configuration file. So basically, we're slowly simplifying the things we need to do when recompiling our code, which this is kind of just a step in the right direction. Okay, so actually let's go ahead and try it out. So if I make a change, let me pull up my browser too. I'm gonna make a change here, and I'm gonna say console.log half a day. If I go over here, refresh the page, we do not see half a day because we haven't recompiled our code. So I'm going to go ahead and recompile my code with the npx webpack command. Give it a sec, saw that it recompiled. I don't see any errors. I can refresh the page. Now I see half a day. And again, we're able to use a shorter command now because of our webpack config. Does that make sense with everybody? All right, cool. Slowly but surely, we're making it less sucky. That's what I'm gonna say. I think that this is rough. Sometimes I don't know. This is tough. I feel bad for the developers of like 20 years ago. All right, cool. So this is one of the biggest reasons we're using Webpack. It's so that way the other, I mean, sorry, the other one of the other biggest reasons we use Webpack is to use the newest versions of JavaScript. If you notice, right now I'm using var, and I'm like using the older syntax. I'm not using let and const or anything like that. And the reason why I'm not using it, for one, is at this point in history of what we're doing, they didn't have it yet. But another reason is because at the point when they did, not all browsers supported the new syntax. Our browser obviously does, but not all browsers at this time did. Obviously, we're in the newer time right now. However, there's a tool that people created called Babel, Babel, Babel. And so this tool is the tool that people used to transform older or transform newer JavaScript code, basically code that's from ES 2015 or ES 6 2015. So basically when like var, let, and const and all that came out. So Babel is a tool that transformed this newer JavaScript code into code that older browsers can understand. So again, we're kind of like making this thing so it's backwards compatible, which so much issues here with the browser. The browser is tough. Okay, and so that's why we need to install even another tool. We're going to install something called Babel. So that way our browsers can have backwards compatibility, or our code can have backwards compatibility. My gosh, that was a hard word. All right, cool. So I'm going to share a couple links. Oh, that's not Slack. Here's Slack. Here's a couple links regarding Babel. Here, I'll even open them up. Oh, what in the world? This, this, and this. If you want to read more about Babel and everything you missed in the past 10 years of JavaScript at the time of 2020 and what happened in ES 2015, feel free to take a look at these links. So in ES 2015, it brought a lot of updates to JavaScript. And here it talks about some of them. But one of the things that I want to show you guys is right here. These template strings, or technically interpolation is what we know. That didn't come into JavaScript until ES 2015. So before that, you couldn't do interpolation. You had to do concatenation, which I don't really care for concatenation personally, but that's something that you would have had to do in JavaScript before this ES 2015. Okay, so yeah, you guys can take a look at that. All right, so let's go ahead and continue, and let's actually install Babel. Okay, so to install Babel, we're gonna run another command. We're gonna go, and this is a long command, so I'm actually gonna copy and paste it. It's gonna be npm install Babel core, Babel preset env, and Babel loader. I'm gonna click enter. And so this is basically installing 3 different libraries that all are necessary to get Babel working properly in this environment, which is a lot you got to do. All right, cool. And so after I do that, I'm not going to have you guys use this version yet. we're actually going to make an update to it. And the updates we're going to make is we're going to add this section, which basically is the configuration. We add some rules for Babel. Really what we're doing here in this section, and I actually have a breakdown of line by line, but just to keep it like super simple, we're basically saying, hey, for any JavaScript file, this is something called regex. Regex. Feel free to look that up later, what exactly it is, but regex is basically a way for us to like, gosh, I don't know how to explain it properly right now. So whatever. You guys can look up regex, or I can explain it later. Regex is interesting, whatever. Anyway, so this line says, hey, for any JavaScript file, use Babel to change it into a version that is compatible with older browsers. That's all. That's really what we're doing here in this section that we just added here. The other thing that we added was this clean true. This clean true says, hey, for this main.js that we've been compiling over and over and over, make sure you delete it and clean it out every single time that we rebundle it. So that way we don't just have all this extra stuff that we don't need. So those are the few things that we did in this file. Okay, cool. All right, so now in my index.js, I'm going to add in some newer syntax. For example, I'm going to say let name equals Junior. I'm going to use Junior's name since he's not here. And then I'm going to go let sport equals, I'm going to say const. I'm going to use const this time. Equals volleyball. And now I'm going to use some interpolation. I'm going to go console.log. And I'm going to use my backticks because that's how you interpolate in JavaScript. And I'm going to say $name loves to play $sport. And if I refresh my page over here, it obviously doesn't show. I have to run npx webpack, recompile everything. Solid. Go over here, refresh the page. Junior loves to play volleyball. Now we have this working properly, even in our browser. And one thing that I'm actually going to show you guys is if we go to main.js, let's go ahead and take a look at where we're doing that. Right here. So we have console.log, name loves to play sport. One thing that we're going to notice here is that it changed it to use concatenation. The reason, so this is Babel that did that. Babel changed it to use concatenation because the older browsers cannot understand the newer JavaScript syntax. It can only understand the older syntax. So that's why Babel not only, so we have Webpack compiling everything, and Babel transformed that code to use the older syntax. So that way older browsers can understand the newer JavaScript syntax. Okay. Everyone following still? Somewhat? Okay. All right. All right. So now I'm going to give you guys your exercise where you're going to do the same thing. Slack. Yeah, I knew it. This thing's not going to format it. It's okay though. Let's do this, 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 this. This. Okay, cool. All right, so here's the exercise. I basically want you guys to install Babel, create a new file called webpackconfig.js, paste this code in, and then from there, I'm sorry, there's actually, what up? This is supposed to be in there. I need that to be in there. There you go. Cool. And then recompile your code. And then in your text editor, feel free to use some newer JavaScript syntax. And so by newer JavaScript syntax, you can take a look at this link or do some interpolation or use let or const, use arrow syntax functions, etc. Something like that, basically. Use some newer syntax stuff, and then from there, you're going to recompile your code. Yeah, I'm going to just write it step by step. Rebundle/compile your code with npx webpack. Oh, I have it right there. Okay, cool. I bet it was right there. All right, cool. Yeah, and then recompile it and open your browser and make sure it works properly. And if you want, you can also check main.js to see what the older syntax looks like. All right, cool. You guys get to share your screen and try it out. And I think we have like two or three more steps to go, and then we're at the server part, and we got it. Making progress. Install Babel, update the webpack config. Hey Kiko, so change the underscore in the name of the file to be a period. So it's webpack period config period JS. There you go, yeah. And so now even the file has like a different icon. There you go. I'm gonna give you guys a couple more minutes on this, and then we're gonna move on to the next step because we have like I think we have two things to do, and then we have a server.
Maybe this was exactly.
All right. You guys are good to stop sharing your screen. Let's move on to the next thing. We got two more steps, and then we're have a working server. I'm gonna share my screen. Where's the button? Do this, share, there. All right, cool. Okay. Um, Finally, we are at the section where it kind of it's kind of annoying that we every single time that we make a change. So for example, if I make a change here, console.log testing. If I want to see this change in the browser, like if I open up the browser and refresh the page, I do not see that testing. If I want to see that change, I have to recompile the code. So I have to click enter. Here, I have to do npx webpack. I can go over here now. Now I see testing. And even if I wanted to delete it, if I delete it, refresh the page, nothing. Again, I have to recompile the code. Once that's done, now I can refresh. Now testing's gone. That's just not really ideal. And so fortunately, Webpack has this command, or Webpack has this functionality of using this thing called watch. So basically, we can run a command and Webpack will watch all our files and see if there's any changes. And if there's a change that's saved, if there is a change, Webpack will automatically rebundle the code, which is pretty cool. So Webpack is going to rebundle our code for us, which is pretty cool. And so the command to do that is going to be npx webpack -- watch. It's already using development mode. It's already using entry.js. All of that stuff is coming from here. Because by default, we tell it, hey, use development mode, use index.js, output the file to main.js, use Babel to transform it into older JavaScript syntax, etc. So all we have to do is npx webpack watch. I'm going to click enter. Solid. And we can see it's kind of like we have a server running. We do not have a server running. It's technically just in a different mode where Webpack will just listen out for any changes to our JavaScript. So now if I add a change, console.log, testing again, whatever, we can see as soon as I click away, if we watch this, there, it recompiled the code. So now I go over here, I do not see the changes yet, but once I refresh the page, now I see the change. So now we don't have to run that command again. We don't have to run that npx webpack command every single time we make a change if we have Webpack in watch mode, which is kind of cool. All right, cool. Another thing that Webpack can do is Webpack can compile all of our main JS code. All of this code, it can it can minify it. Already it's been compiling it, but it can minify it. And what minify means is minify, and here I'm going to go to index.js. It can also minify our code, and minify basically means to make the file smaller by removing all unnecessary characters and shortening the names of and shortening names. We're going to say and shortening names. So this is what it means to minify a file. And so to do that, we're going to run npx webpack -- mode equals production. Basically, if Webpack is in production mode, it's going to do this minify stuff. And so let's go ahead and take a look at this file. We can see how long it is, but we can also see there's a lot of extra spaces. And also, like in our variables, if I find one of the variables here, like var math, here's one of the variables that I'm using. Var moment, I can see here's another variable that I'm using. When I compile it in production mode, it's going to change because it's going to minify everything. I'm going to click enter, and it's going to do a bunch of stuff. It's taking a second. It has to compile and minify all of that. And so cool. We can see now Webpack just changed everything into a minified version. So like all of those variables that we had, so now instead of it being var, and this should have been like moment, now it's using e. And also there's almost no spaces. There's very, very little spaces, and all the extra enters and all that. This is technically all one line. Like we haven't seen another line. This is all technically line 2. Line 2 goes all the way down. And then we can even see there's that testing again, console log testing again. Right? So this is all our code, but it's all minified into this file. And so that's another thing that Webpack can do. And where minifying the file comes into play is for production. We don't want to be pushing up all the code. So like we want to push up a minified version. We can get into that later, but that's the idea with minifying. And that's exactly why the command to do it is to change Webpack into production mode. Okay. Anyway, so we're using all these commands, right? So now the commands that we have are npx webpack. And so this command is basically going to compile all our code. We also have npx webpack -- watch, change Webpack into watch mode. And then also we have npx webpack -- mode equals production. Minify our main.js, main .js code. So here's the 3 different commands that technically at this point we're using and we would have to kind of memorize. We'd have to write these commands every single time. That's really not ideal. At some point, we're probably going to forget these commands and we might miss a dash or an equal sign or whatever, misspell something. And so there has to be an easier way that we can handle this. And so the easier way that we can handle this is we can create, basically we can edit our package JSON and we can add those commands to the scripts. So that way the command is going to be a lot easier to remember basically. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to add something right before the test script. We don't even use that test script. And I'm going to say build colon, and then the command that we would run. So we'd typically run webpack. And then this is the mode equals production. So build is when we want to, if we run this build command, we're going to compile our code. We're going to minify our code. And then the next one I'm going to add is watch. So if we run watch, we're going to run webpack -- watch. Oh, sorry. And then I'm going to add my comma. And so so now instead of us having to explicitly write npx webpack mode production or npx webpack watch, now all we have to do is run npm run build. And so npm run build is going to run that minify command, basically the npx mode production. So it's going to do all that for us. Perfect. And then if we wanted to turn webpack into watch mode, now all we have to do is run npm run watch. Any script that we add here, it's going to be npm run and then whatever it is we say here. So for example, for watch, we'd run npm run watch. And I click enter, and now it turns webpack into watch mode. So now I can go here and I can add some code. Console.log hello again. And I can go over here. We can see that it recompiled. As soon as I refresh the page, there's the hello again. If I delete these 2 lines, leave the file, it compiled, I can refresh. Now those 2 lines are gone. And so now we're slowly making it so that way we don't have to memorize any command. All we have to do is npm run build or npm run watch. Super cool. Everyone following still? All right, cool. Let me know if you guys have any questions. All right. So the final thing we're going to do is we're going to use something called Webpack Dev Server. And we're going to make it so this is an actual application that runs on a specific port on our computer. If we remember, our Rails applications run on localhost 3000. Our node application that we're creating here, it's going to run on localhost 8080, or we can tell it to run on a different port, but we're going to use localhost 8080. And so to do this, we're going to do a couple things. And actually, I want to go through a couple of the benefits to using a server. So some of the benefits to using a server is that it automatically refreshes the browser. So we have something called hot reloading. So that way we shouldn't have to go over here and refresh the browser every single time we want to change. Another benefit to using it is that we also get faster rebuilds. So basically that build process or that compile process should be faster. And then another thing is that we actually have better error handling. Basically, we're going to be able to look at our server the same as Rails and see the logs, right? So we're going to be able to see what's going on there. And then also we're just simply mimicking how it would be deployed online. So it's actually like running a server. This is not just a static HTML file. It'll actually mimicking like how it's deployed online, running on a server. And so these are kind of some of the benefits that we have to using a server versus just keeping it the way we have here with npm run watch. Because using this in watch mode, it works. It's just we can get all of these extra benefits if we change it to use a server instead. And so that's why we are going to use the server, basically. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the watch mode. And I'm going to go to the Webpack config, and we're going to actually add this is going to be the last change we make here. And feel free, you can just copy and paste. The three things that we added were this. We added these. So what this does is it says, hey, this is the configuration specifically for our server. We're going to say open true and hot true. Open true says, hey, if I turn my server on, open it immediately in the browser. Like, don't wait for me to open it. I want you to open it in the browser. And that's going to make more sense in just a second. Hot true tells it, hey, I don't want to have to refresh the page. Refresh the page for me if there's a change that's been made. And so that's what these two commands do. I don't remember what this static does actually. I forget, but I can check that later. Okay, cool. So now after we've updated our Webpack config, now we need to install the Webpack dev server. So it's going to be npm install Webpack dev server version 4. Have we been using version 5? I want to be consistent. Did we use version 4 or 5 right here? Oh, we use version 5. Whatever. We're going to use version 4 for this. And then I'm going to go dash dash save dev. This is going to be a development one. Let me click enter, and it's going to do some stuff. All right, cool. All right, cool. It worked. And to verify it worked, I can see in my package JSON. Now we should have Webpack dev server. Perfect. All right. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add the script in our package JSON to basically turn on the server. So this is kind of similar to like when we run Rails server, we need a command to turn on our server, and we're going to tell it, hey, this is the command I want you to use. So we're going to say, I want to use serve. So it's going to be npm run serve colon, and it's going to be the command to start it is going to be webpack serve dash dash mode equals development. Actually, we don't need to do that. And then from there, we just have to say dash dash open. So it should just be webpack serve open. So basically, start the webpack server. Add my comma. And then finally, there's one more thing we have to do. And we have to go to our index.html. And now no longer are we going to have it point to this dist main.js. Because the only time that this changes is if we recompile our code. And now technically when we have our server, we're not going to wait for this thing to compile. And so instead, we're going to change it to just be main.js. And actually, there's actually a technical reason why. And I'm going to explain it right now, even if it doesn't fully make sense. So here's the reason why we change it from dist main.js to just main.js. We change it because when we run npm run build, it recompiles all our code onto or in dist/main.js, right? So we understand this already. We should, or we at least have somewhat of an understanding of this. npm run build runs the webpack command to update main.js. npm run serve, which turns on our server, it does something slightly different. It creates a bundle. It creates main.js, we'll say, which is a bundle on our computer, but in RAM. So basically, it's going to kind of create this temporary version of main.js that's running in the RAM of our computer. It's not going to be directly saved into the files on our computer. It's going to be temporarily saved in our RAM on our computer. And so not technically, npm run serve is going to use main.js in the root directory that's running in our RAM versus before it was using like the main.js that's directly on our computer. This is like saved on our computer. And so that's why ultimately we're changing this to be main.js rather than dist.main.js. All right, cool. Long story short, or that's a long story, but whatever. So let's go ahead and test it out. So finally, to run it, we can run npm run serve. I'm going to click enter, and it automatically opened up this browser. And we can see this is running on localhost 8080. If I go to my index.js and I make a change, console.log we did it. And I go back here. I didn't have to refresh the page. It did it for us. We see that we did it. Because we have our dev server that does hot reloading. Bam. We did it, guys. We did it. And that concludes everything that we did, everything that the people in JavaScript did to get it to the point that we have it today. Thank you for this TED Talk. All right. Okay, so now I'm gonna have you guys do it yourself. I'm gonna have you guys do it yourself. Okay. Slack. All right. Oh my gosh. Let me fix this. Install the Webpack dev server. This command. In your text editor, update index.html to reference main.js instead of disk main.js. Yep, with this command. And then from there, add scripts to the package JSON. So you're going to add these three scripts to your package.json. And then from there, in your terminal, you can try running the npm run watch command. And then in your text editor, make a change to index.js, watch the terminal rebuild, and then you'll still need to refresh at this point. Finally, you can turn that off, and then in your terminal, you can run npm run serve, and that should open up localhost 8080 automatically. And then from there, you can make a change to your index.js, and it updates automatically. Fix this. And this. All right, cool. So install the the Webpack dev server, update your index.html to now only point to main.js rather than disk.main.js. Add the scripts, add these three scripts into your package JSON. And then from there, and actually here, I'm going to share what the package JSON looks like. I'm just going to share the whole thing. This is what the whole scripts section should look like, actually. Let me just do this. And then from there, in your terminal, go ahead and try using the watch command. And so try making a change in index.js. Watch that because you have watch on, you still have to refresh, but you don't have to recompile the code. Finally, you can turn that off, turn on your server with npm run serve. It should open up automatically localhost 8080. You can make a change and it should refresh automatically. All right, cool. You guys will get to share your screen and try that out. Try it out. You guys are now JavaScript developers. Congratulations.
Okay.
Good job, everybody.
Hey, Leon.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I gotta go head out and pick up shish kebabs from Bert Sunga's kitchen in Derrida before they close, dude.
I got you.
Up to you guys tomorrow. Are we dressing up? Because I don't want to be
No. Well, tomorrow
the only one in.
we're not meeting
Oh,
tomorrow. Tomorrow's the
oh, okay. Yeah. See you guys soon, man. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, Hugo. See you Monday.
All right. Shoot. See you guys later.
Yeah, Halloween.
Happy
Be safe.
Halloween.
Shoot.
Bye.
What's everyone dressing up as?
Mira.
Mira.
No, I'm just kidding. Stassi's dressing up as Mira.
Uh,
Yeah, I have no, I had like no costume ideas for myself. My daughter's gonna be Anna from Frozen.
oh,
It's one of
that's
those,
cute.
yeah. I think I'm just gonna do like a last minute like clown makeup. We'll see.
I just have an Eevee onesie. I'm just kidding. The
Wait, because
Pokemon.
that's my favorite Pokemon. So
Yeah,
I
we have a dress up day for work, but I don't have it because yeah, Carrie took it with her, or my partner took it with her, so
No, I had a one day or one time I worked because I used to work at biology. So I worked on Halloween and we did costumes and we all did like pizza topping because it's a pizzeria and I was spinning.
Oh, that's nice. Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so Adrian, so you're gonna add that script into the HTML. So you'll never run those in the terminal. You're gonna switch the script that you have right there in the index.html to be the one to be that one. There you go. All right. Yeah, nice. You installed the web dev server, you switch that. And from there, you need to add the script. You need to add the scripts into your package JSON. And then Ron, so yeah, Ron, you need to add the rest of the scripts there. So there's going to be th four in total counting the test, but we don't have any tests, so really that one doesn't really matter. Adrian, go ahead and delete the extra test one on the top. Delete that since you have a duplicate. Yeah, just that first one. There you go. Yeah, okay, cool. That all looks good now. And then do Control C because it looks like it's like stuck in something. I don't know what it is. What is it? Terminal will. Okay, that's fine. That works too. All right. So Matt, for you, Matt, I'm looking at your screen. So you're gonna want to add those scripts above where the scripts are. Yeah. So you see where, yeah, exactly. So where it says scripts there, why don't you just copy from, yeah, the beginning of line 9 to line 11. Yeah, paste now if you had that copied. All right, cool. And then delete one, yeah, delete all that right there. And then scroll up and just to fix the indentation, in front of scripts, delete one time. Delete, yeah, delete. There you go. Perfect. All right, cool. That all looks good. It's all structured right. That function, I don't know what's going on with that function. I say just go and delete that function. Just go and delete it. I don't know. It looks like it has an error or something. I'm not sure why. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's fine. I'm not sure. But all right, cool. So did you update your index HTML already? Yeah, okay, cool. Go ahead and delete 13 through 15. And so all those, so basically you need to add what 15 to this. Index.js, it shouldn't say that, it should say main.js. And then all these you can delete. All of the scripts will always go here, like on this line. So yeah, so go ahead and just change index to say main. Or you can just copy and paste it. It's up to you. Same thing. And then now delete all these scripts on the bottom. Solid. Okay, that looks good. Your Webpack config is updated already. So you'll need to update it one more time. You'll need to grab the newest version that has the web dev server or the dev server in it. This one looks like it doesn't have the dev server. It's gonna go here at the bottom, but I'd rather you copy and paste it because like the indentation's really weird. Yeah, so just grab that in Slack. And yeah, Ron, that looks solid. Those scripts look solid. Let's see. Nice, Adrian. I see you're using npm run watch already. Solid. So go ahead and like test it out. By test it out, like you would make a change in index.js. Your code would automatically recompile on the bottom and you're in this watch mode. And then from there, all you'd need to do is refresh the browser and it should update it automatically. Oh,
So, I'm getting an error for my uh
gosh.
browser, and I'm not for sure.
Main.js. Okay, so this says it doesn't know. Okay, let me see. Let me see your index HTML. Okay, that's main.js.
So I do have a different name for them, and
I
I'm thinking
well,
maybe
okay, yeah. So that's. Could I see your Webpack config? So now that your JavaScript's named a new thing, you'll need to change. Okay, cool. The entry point is modern index. That's fine. That's good. Uh, can I see your package JSON? Yeah, that looks good. Are you using Watch? Okay, you're using Watch. Hmm. Let me try something.
because everything was working good up until this point after I added the scripts and then did the watch.
I actually want to try something. I wonder if this is going to break for me too. Vim run watch. There.
And I also have everything within this like C3 folder, like C12, C3.
So, okay. Change your index.html back to, I think this is an issue. This is, I think I know exactly what's going on. Change it back to dis main.js and then turn off the watch and turn it back on. Yeah, okay. So turn off your watch now, watch mode, and turn it back on. I think this is gonna fix it. If it does, I'm gonna explain why. Yes. Okay. There you go. So what's happening, and this is actually something I'm happy that you're running into this error because I'm gonna fix this now in the exercise. So we should remove watch mode altogether because watch mode uses the original that compiled dist main.js. That's why we have to tell it, hey, point there. Versus um the server uses just main.js. It uses the other version of main.js that it creates in like the root directory of your application, basically. And so it uses the one that runs on RAM versus the one that's actually saved in your computer. And so npm run watch won't work if the server works with this setup that we have. I'm thinking there has to be a way that we can get it to work. But right now with this setup we have, it's like one or the other. So it's like
Okay.
now that you have this working, delete dist slash and then turn off your watch and change it to be npm run serve. Basically run like turn on your server. And so this should work too.
But I did not.
Did you have this? Yeah, you have the serve command. There you go. It opened up localhost 8080 right away. Pull up the browser console. Okay. What is this?
I
Cannot.
mean,
Oh, I got this error before. What was this? Shoot. You installed the web server, you switched the script to main.js, you updated the scripts, and now you're running it. Technically, that's all you should need to do. Freak. Why are we getting this error? What is it?
Is it because I'm in this thing? Is it Explorer or something instead of Chrome?
I don't think so. Let me look something up. Dang it. We're almost perfect. Almost perfect. All good, all good, all good.
Trying to get there.
All good. Let me look this up. Wait, I'm gonna fix this. We're gonna fix this right now. Lana, shoot, can I see your webpack config.js one more time? Okay, I'm gonna compare it to development index.js output main.js module. Oh, Lana, that's the issue. You didn't update you didn't update your webpack config. So you need to update the webpack config with oh, did I not send it? Oh, shucks. I didn't send it. I'm sorry, guys. This is my fault.
Wait, I'm coming into an error. Is it the hot run or something?
No, 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 no. So the issue, I'm sorry, guys. This is my fault. Here, I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Okay. So the issue is that I forgot to send the updated webpack config. This is my fault. Because I was like, wait, what? And Matt, I'm sorry, Matt, if I was telling you to do this earlier and I didn't say it. In your terminal, yeah, do that. So the first thing that you guys should do actually is update your webpack.config.js with the configuration for the dev server. And that's going to look like this. I apologize, guys. I forgot to tell you guys this. So this is what you guys, so Ron, yeah, technically that is kind of what you needed. You needed this dev server part of it. Dev server, static, open true, hot true. And so Lana, the error that you're getting is it's saying it's this. So this static tells it where the index HTML is, and your stuff didn't know where it was because it didn't have this configuration. So this is what you needed to fix it. So yes, Ron, you were right as well. Yeah, you're right. My bad. This is my fault, guys. I need to update my exercise to include this step. The other thing that I wanted to share you guys is I'm gonna update the lesson plan right now because we have one more issue. So you guys cannot use the watch count command anymore. Like we're literally gonna delete it. The reason why we cannot use the watch command anymore is because the watch command listens out for the dist main.js, which we're pointing the script to only main.js, which is different. This is specifically the syntax for npm run serve. So, or the Webpack, basically the dev server. If we tried to use both at the same time, it wouldn't work. And so go ahead and feel free to delete the watch one just so that way you guys don't get confused and think you guys can use it and then it doesn't work. So that's the two things. So make sure you update the Webpack config and then in your package JSON, delete the watch option. All right, cool. Sorry about that, guys. That's my fault. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna update the docs. Terminal. All right. Oh shoot, this is kind of backwards. Hold on. Oh, you need to do that. It's okay. There we go. That. There we go. I'm gonna remove the watch option. Okay, cool. I updated that. Is it working for you guys? Nice. I see it, Lana. Oh my gosh. Congratulations. You guys are JavaScript developers. My gosh.
Wow, I feel like a winner.
Yeah, no, you guys are all winners. Let me see, Matt. I'm checking yours. Okay, Matt, you're still working on it. Nice. You updated the Webpack config. I'm sorry, Matt. Earlier, I remember I was saying, oh, you need to update that. And you're probably like, what the heck am I supposed to update? So I apologize, Matt. That's on me.
It's okay.
Okay.
Dang, Matt just messaged me saying that he doesn't think he can forgive you.
Dang, Matt, you said
I,
that?
I never said that. I never said that.
He's a liar. He's lying.
Show the
Wow,
receipts.
Matt,
The receipts
just
now.
bro, just say what's on your mind, man.
No,
No,
I
he
never
did
said that.
it.
I never
I
said that.
so it's gone already.
Oh man, my feelings are hurt.
No, no,
Matt, you can't come
I
tomorrow.
never said,
You can't come
I
you can't
never
come to the office
I never
tomorrow.
said that. I know I never said.
You're not welcome to the office tomorrow, Matt. Don't come. Don't come.
Oh, dude.
I'm just
Sorry,
kidding.
man.
We're not even having class. Class is not, we're not having class, right? So whose screen am I looking
Oh,
at?
so we're all not welcome to the office tomorrow.
Yeah, no one's
Yeah.
welcome. You guys are all kicked out. I'm gonna lock you guys out. Okay. Did I update the message already? Here, actually, I'm gonna update the Slack message. Update the exercise. Okay, cool. There, I updated the Slack exercise. I put a note that we can note why we can no longer use the watch command once we update the script. And I updated it to also say to remove the watch command altogether. So that way everyone's on the same page. Yeah. Okay, cool. Is it working for everybody?
Still setting it
Yes,
up.
but I have an error.
Okay.
Um, on the localhost 80.
Could you share your screen, Ron?
This one.
Solid, solid, solid. Okay. The status resource not found. Oh, that's fine. That favicon thing, that's fine. These I don't remember what this is. This is like a weird thing, but like if you make a change, it does hot reload and it updates right away. Okay, cool. That's
Yes.
what matters. Don't worry about that. I actually don't remember what that is. Even Rails has those things sometimes with this favicon thing. I forget what it is. I think it's like dealing with an icon, to be honest. But like yeah, don't worry about that.
All right.
Solid.
Sure.
You're working. Okay. Matt, Adrian, how are you guys doing? You guys is going okay?
I'm running through the steps one more time. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I made a note right here, actually, Adrian. So this is what I changed. So in your text editor, add the scripts, blah, 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 and then also remove the watch option. And I know why. Basically, we cannot use watch anymore. There's like a conflict with it. So
Wait,
just
sorry. Can you tell me where?
yeah,
Wait.
yeah. So go to the package JSON, go to that file. Oh shoot, I was looking at Matt's screen. I'm so sorry. Gosh, getting confused here. Matt, you got me all confused, man. I'm just kidding. Yeah, so just delete that watch, like delete that whole watch option. Yeah, so just delete that. Because basically we're not going to be able to use that anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Matt, if you didn't do that already, feel free to do that. That'll be in the package JSON. Nice. Okay, cool. Adrian, yours is on. Nice, Matt, yours is on too. Dang. Okay, everybody here's a JavaScript developer. Congratulations to you all. You guys know more than Lana's class with regards to this stuff. I didn't even go through this in Lana's class. Yeah, congratulations. What do you guys think of JavaScript and how it was before all these updates and what it looks like to build a server and all that kind of stuff? What do you guys think? Thoughts?
Terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they were definitely slacking. I don't know why. 2015, that's not that long ago. I mean, it's 10 years ago. That's crazy long ago.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. What's their excuse?
No excuses.
So all these tools that we've kind of installed are kind of a lot of the basic tools that we need to develop web applications. And so one of the reasons Rails is such a great framework is because it reduces the amount of time needed to like install and set up our application. Basically, instead of us having to do all those different steps to set up like being able to install packages or in Rails like install gems, instead of needing to set up how to make it so that way our server works properly, all those different little things, Rails does that automatically. As soon as we do a Rails new, all the configuration is done for us. And that's one of the amazing things with Rails and why we love to use Rails, right? And so JavaScript has its own version of that. And one of the JavaScript frameworks that you guys could use is called Express.js. And I'm actually here, I'm not saying you guys have to do this right now, but I am going to share. This is if we had time, and this is what I had the last actualized class that I taught this thing to. This is what I had them do. And so this is basically this exercise that I just shared, which I'm not expecting you guys to do necessarily, but at least I want you guys to take a look at it maybe when you guys have time is to use Node.js. So to use, I'm sorry, yeah, to use Node or Node with Express.js to build a backend. And so this guide that I just shared in that exercise, that's going to walk you through how to set up an API using only JavaScript. So by the end of that one, like for example, how we can make a request to locals 3000 slash products and see all of our products. By the end of that guide, you guys should be able to do something relatively similar using Node, using Express.js, which is actually pretty cool. So maybe actually, I think for the weekend, I want you guys to take a look at that and see if you guys can kind of get that done. I think that'd be actually a cool homework. I'm gonna make that homework now. You guys just encouraged me. That's gonna be the homework. Matt encouraged me actually. Matt, thank you, Matt.
What? What?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Matt.
What did I do?
Wow.
I'm kidding, Matt. I'm kidding. But I think this would be a cool exercise for you guys to do. Basically, see what it's like to look at documentation and see what it's like to look to use a different framework altogether. We're so familiar with Rails right now. All right, cool. Here's Express, which also builds a backend. It's also going to build an API. So see what it looks like to do it using a completely different framework. And I think that'll be really, really cool for you guys to try out. It's not going to be as straightforward, but it is going to be, there's going to be a lot of similar things. Like, I don't think there's a routes, but there's like something kind of similar to it. And like, I don't think there's exactly a controller per se, like in Rails, but there's something very similar, etc. Right? There's going to be a lot of similarities, but there's also going to be a lot of differences. But ultimately, you're creating kind of the same thing. Ultimately, you're going to be getting a JSON response with some data, which is what an API does, right? So I think that's pretty cool. I'd like for you guys to take a look at that. So the last thing, as we're wrapping up, I wanted to share a couple things with you guys. You guys are good to stop sharing your screen, and I'm going to share some cool stuff with you guys. Where's it at? Where's it at? this. So I want you guys to take a look at these and let me know what you guys think. So this is version 1. Actually, this says version 2. And then this is version 1. What are our thoughts? What are our thoughts, guys? Ron had some good thoughts. Actually, Ron got the seat first because Ron was the only one here yesterday.
Oh
So
yeah, the thing.
Ron had some good thoughts, but what you guys think? What you guys thinking?
I really
I
like
think
this
black is
design.
better.
I especially like the blue one.
Oh, you guys just
Sorry. But you know what? The thing I like about the blue one, I do like the black. The thing I like about the blue one is that it has that is it I don't know what you call it, but the zeros and ones? Is it
binary.
zeros and
Yeah, binary.
yeah, binary code? I really think that looks so dope. But that's the reason why I like the blue one. I could go for a black.
Mm.
Yeah, I think they're going towards that route with the binary code and the black and green.
Oh,
That's
actually,
that's that was Kiko's idea. Yeah.
so this Code
Yeah.
School of Guam shirt, it has binary code. Oh shoot, where's my camera? So that binary code says Code School of Guam.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah. So I don't know that that one says anything per se, but it's kind of like the Matrix kind of thing. I don't know. So tweaks though, guys, we get to like change it up as much or as little as we want. So like if you guys like it as is, obviously, okay, cool. But if you guys want to make any updates to it, like now is the time that we can make. Like obviously we'll wait and we'll let Junior and Kiko give their opinion as well. But while you guys get to see it, I want you guys to start thinking of like what updates would you guys want to this, if any, because we get like free changes if we want. So yeah, I'll let you guys just think about this for a while. You guys can talk aloud, you guys talk to each other, whatever.
Yeah, okay, maybe you're onto something, Lana. Well, blue might be the move. Black is too generic.
But then you know
I don't
what? Ron said about the black, like having the green binary code. Same like the blue.
know. Hmm.
Yeah, like the Matrix. Ron, you were also saying something about like some floral stuff yesterday.
No, like so like how Coral is like big, whatever on the island, but instead of like the floral prints, it'll be the actual binary code in a sense. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
I think that could be really cool. I just don't know I don't know how like how would you explain that? Like, is it like the binary code? Is it going to be like the design of like flowers and stuff, but using zeros and ones to outline it? Is that what you're saying?
No. Maybe like the navy. Just I think for the most part, just like how the navy looks,
But
but
just
like maybe
right?
scale it. Yeah.
Man, make this bigger.
Like more lines for the binary code, I guess.
Okay, more lines. Okay, we're gonna add some notes because I'm gonna forget this.
Sorry, I'm not explaining it too good, but it's in here. It's in here.
How big it's gonna be in the shirt.
Oh,
Makes sense.
okay, guys.
I printed.
This Cammy just gave this around. This is the exact size that it would be on the shirt.
Yeah, if you want a bigger.
Do you want it bigger, smaller? And so the reason why we're asking this is because we thought that the shirts for Lana's class was going to be a lot smaller, but they ended up taking up like the whole shirt. So, so this is going to be the size. Cammy told me. So if it's wrong, blame her. So,
I think the size is fine.
all right, size is good. Are we in
Yeah,
agreement?
spam. The can of spam is pretty solid.
All right,
If we
cool.
can get it like that in real life.
So we did. They drew from scratch.
Cammy said that they drew it from scratch and hand pixelated it
Sure.
on the computer, probably on an iPad. All right, cool.
Nice.
Okay, okay. So I'm gonna put this in general.
And
I'm gonna put the files in them too. Where's the files at?
if I can use sizes, break down.
Okay. We don't have Junior. He's not on Guam. I can't get a hold of him.
When does he get back?
Tuesday.
Maybe Wednesday?
Yeah. So here's the shirts, and then I'm gonna add our notes on it. Notes for shirts. Potentially, you guys were saying black with green zeros and one binary. Is that what we were saying? Was that yes or no? I didn't. Sorry. I need like a full, like everyone on the same page. Is that cool? Okay, okay. Seeing some thumbs up. Matt, are you cool with that?
Yes.
All right. Any other updates we'd like to make? So we already said black with binary code, so it'll be like whatever this stuff. Should the binary code be larger? Is that one of the things you guys said? Like, I mean by larger, like go more? Or do you guys like where it's at?
So we can make this, you just zoomed in.
Or we can, Cami just said we could also zoom it in to make the zeros and one larger if you guys wanted. We can do anything you guys want, but that's why I just want like whatever it is you guys want to do. We're gonna write it down because they could do it for us. You can pretty much make whatever you want. Keep it.
Maybe we see how it would look first, like the black shirt with the green binary codes on the bottom.
Yeah. So I think we get like two free like changes.
No, they're gonna,
Okay, they'll give us as many changes as we want. Cami just said it.
but the
Oh,
sooner
nice.
it's this and quantity, the
But the sooner we finalize it all, the better. So that way we can get it sooner, right? Whatever. It's coming from
I'll find.
I'll file it. Okay, so you guys, so Ron, is what you're saying is you want to just try this first, leaving it exactly the same, really just change the color black and then make that green. And then from there we can see, okay, cool. Do we want to resize it or whatever? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I just want to see how it would look. What do you guys think?
What a talkative group we have here.
Real Matt, rest on your shoulder, Matt.
No, what I do.
All right, so see how it looks with black background or black shirt and green binary. Then try, I don't know, then what's the word? View it again. I don't know, whatever. And then check again. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave that check again. Any other notes on this? Obviously, we're still waiting for Kiko and Junior, so that way they can check it out too. All right, cool. Okay. Um, oh, the other thing I was gonna share.
Just add it to the homework. Another homework.
Homework is to look at this.
Those are the same.
Okay. So you guys, this homework. You guys got a couple of homeworks. So this is yeah, okay. Thank you, Lana, for pinning that actually. Thank you for that. So the other homework that I'm giving to you guys, think about the class shirt. And if you want any updates, also share the sizes and amounts you want to order. And then the sizes Cami shared, we have kids 2T through 5T, youth, it's going to be youth extra small through youth extra large, and then adult is going to be extra small through 6XL. So yeah, share the sizes and amounts you want to order. So you guys' shirts, your shirt specifically is going to be free for you guys. Well, whatever the school is going to pay for it. But then any other shirt that you want for your family, friends, whatever, it's just going to be the cost of the shirt. Like literally whatever Hafaloa tells us, okay, that's 15 bucks. All right, cool. If you only bet one shirt, it's gonna be 15 bucks. If you get two, it'll be 30, whatever. So that's the way the shirts are gonna work. So I want you guys to think about the class shirts and if you want any updates. And I also want you guys on Monday to share the sizes and amounts you want to order. So that way, hopefully by like Wednesday, we can just place the order once we get the finalized design. That's the goal. Does that work with everybody?
Oh, I can't find maybe Wednesday, because for June.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Matt. You didn't need to yell though.
Wait,
kidding.
what? I yelled.
Matt,
For
I'm
real,
kidding.
my dog's scared. That was really loud.
I'm kidding,
Am
man.
I actually loud?
Bro, stop getting mad.
No.
You're good. Right? We're best.
Dude, I don't know what made you angry, but tone it down.
What did I do?
All right, we're all gonna go to Foot Locker now. We're gonna go place some orders.
No, don't go.
We're gonna go complain about this guy. No, I'm kidding, Matt. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Go
Um,
test out your trainees.
yeah. I'm gonna go ask for a bunch of shoes and then I'm just gonna walk away.
No, don't do that.
I'm gonna say Matt said to do it. I'm kidding. Wait, why is this one smaller?
That was just testing the size.
So this one?
Yeah, that's the size of the
Okay. Yeah. It's like
Well, but that's the
like an actual can of Spam.
size.
Yeah, is that like an actual can? This is bigger.
Oh, this size I was referring to in case we wanted to put sticker.
Oh.
I was just looking.
Oh, Cami was saying maybe we could do stickers too if you guys wanted. That sounds kind of cool.
They're close to
Yeah, that actually sounds really cool. Would you guys want stickers?
I'd buy a sticker.
I think I might get one too.
Totally a sticker fan.
You said what?
I'll get a sticker.
Oh, sick. Okay. So babe, I think they want stickers too.
Okay.
We'll see what that looks like. I don't know. I don't know what it
I was
like.
putting up for sticker size or
All right, so this would be the sticker size. It's about
small.
okay, Cami said she can do smaller, but this is right like about the size of my hand. All right, cool. So the homework, just as a refresher, homework is to try out building a backend or an API with Express.js. See what it's like. Obviously, there's no pressure here. It's not like, yeah, there's whatever. There's no pressure. You guys are trying something brand new. Feel free to follow these documentation, but also like look up on YouTube, use different resources online. Like you don't have to just follow this only like end all be all kind of thing. And then also the other homework is to think about your class shirts and if you want any updates, and then share the sizes and amounts you guys want to order. Again, because you guys can get friends and we can get any amount of shirts. For Lana's class, we made a mistake and we chose a material where we had to order 50. And so I had to buy 50 shirts regardless. For you guys' class, we're using a better material where we can buy as little or as much as we want. So if we only bought enough for each one of us, perfectly fine. If every one of you guys wanted to buy 10 extra shirts, that's completely fine too. So any amount would doesn't matter. Yeah. So those are the three homeworks for this extra long 3-day weekend that you guys get. Um yeah. All right, cool. That's really all I have. Oh, sorry. Final thing is if you guys remember, I was talking about doing that thing with Lana's class, the where the alumni come in and that you guys are all going to build something together. And so I'm thinking I'm leaning towards November 14th, which is not next week, but the following week. Does November 14 work for everyone here? All right, cool.
Um, Let me get back to you on that. I think I
Okay.
have
Look.
inventory.
Okay. If we need to change it, we can. Completely fine. But that was the date I was aiming for. But if we need to change it, we'll aim for there still. But Ron, let me know. If anyone can't make it, then I want to move it. Because I want as best as we can, I want everyone to be there. Because I think it'd be a really cool thing. So you guys keep me updated on how even right in general. I'm gonna say tentative alumni meetup Friday, November 14th. Tentative. All right, so let me know about that, guys. Okay, now that's all I have for real. Cool. Well, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for hanging out with me as we learned all the issues that JavaScript had before and what it's like to build a server. And yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, just thank you guys. It's nice to hang out with you guys. And you guys be safe, please. Happy Halloween. Please be safe. Watch your kids, all that. I'll be in Bear Heights if anyone's gonna be over here. Yeah, you guys have a great night and a great weekend, and I'll see you guys all Monday. See you guys.
Bye, everyone.
You guys stay safe.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.